This is a Tandberg unit. This is the TRC 4, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. The first thing we do when we use the Tandberg unit is we take the cover off. And we set it somewhere out of the way. The next thing we do is we raise the codec so that the camera can see out the side, outside of the walls. It allows it more panoramic view. A Tandberg unit has a number of different parts. We have the camera on top, which can pan around about 180 degrees and can also zoom in and zoom out. We have a super high-tech microphone, which can pick up audio from all around the classroom. Those are the high-tech index cards that the microphone is resting on. There's a speaker, which allows us to hear what the other people on the other side are saying. This Tandberg unit also comes equipped with a Vcr and Dvd unit, which allows us to switch back and forth between movies and a live presentation. Over here is our projector. So our image is going to be projected up onto a screen on the wall. As you can see, there's lots of plug-ins back here. Hopefully your school or district technology specialist or coordinator can arrange to make sure everything is plugged in and hooked up properly. We have your Ethernet cord, which is absolutely one of the most important things, especially if you're going to be connecting outside of your own classroom, and not just if you're using it for in-classroom presentations, it doesn't matter. But this is what allows you to connect out. There's the power cord, which is right here on the back, and there it is on the floor. That needs to be plugged into the wall before use. And there's also an input computer cord. We have the Macintosh dongle already on the end of it, and it's back there. But we have it on the end. This can be hooked into a computer, which can then be hooked into a document camera. You can toggle back and forth between the two. There's my document camera set up right there. Or you can just take this piece off and hook this directly into the document camera, because the document camera doesn't need a dongle. So depending on which kind of computer you have, you may or may not need a dongle on the end of this computer input. And this allows you to project what's on your computer screen or what's underneath the document camera up onto the wall or to the people that you're presenting to. And you can go back and forth between live presentation and a picture that's on your screen or underneath the document camera. After you've taken off the cover, the plastic cover, and brought the codec up, you're not going to want to forget the most important step of actually plugging the unit in. So we're going to take the plug, and I plug it into a power strip, usually. And also the Ethernet cord. This has to be networked in, so we have to plug this directly into the wall. We can't rely on our wireless networks to feed this connection, because it's a wired connection. So make sure you've got a plug-in to the Ethernet and then a plug-in to the outlet. And I'm going to turn this power strip on so I know I'm getting power to the unit. Now there are two power buttons on the unit that you have to turn on if you're going to use it. The first one is the power button on the codec, and it's right on the back of the codec here. You can see right now it's in position 0. We need to flip it to 1, and it'll make a little noise. The camera will pan around a little bit, so you know that it's on. The next piece that we need to turn on is the projector. The projector is usually a good to go if we've got one blinking green light. We should be able to turn it on. Sometimes when we turn it on, it'll go to double red. It needs some extra time. If this is 2 reds, you can't turn it on just yet. If you try, it'll just get confusing. So just wait until it's blinking 1 green where it says lamp, and then you can turn it on. The other piece you need to remove the lens cap. If you don't remove the lens cap, then you're going to be calling tech support to help you out with that. After you do those steps, you should get that there's the little parakeets that come up. Then it'll go black, or it'll either be the live pan of your room, the live picture of your room, depending on what setting you have it on. If it continues to stay black, I suggest taking a look at the remote, which we'll talk about in a second. And here is the remote. And you want to push the live camera button on there, aim it right at the codec. The remote does not work unless you're aiming it right at the codec. There's the little parakeets that come up in between there, and it says searching. So we're going to give it a minute to search, and hopefully it will come on live. And there we are, so you can see the camera's trained on me, and I'm videoing this right now. When the unit first turns on, you probably have this row of buttons across the bottom. If you're not going to make a phone call right off, or you just want to leave the unit on, or you're getting ready to do some other sort of presentation and you want to get rid of it, you just need to push the cancel button on your remote, which I'll go over a little more detail. Make sure when you use the remote you aim it at the codec, and you see it just disappears. When we're getting ready to shut the Tandberg down, we basically just go back to where we started. We take a look at the codec. See, right now it's on 1. We need to move this to 0. And you always want to shut down, turn this power button off before you unplug it. So I go kind of 1. Right now we've got double green. I'm going to push the power button. And it's going to give me the choice. Power off, press again. So I'm going to press that power button one more time. It'll go to double red. My projector is shutting itself off. I need to remember to replace the lens cap or the plastic cover won't go on properly. I'm going to go back to my cords. It doesn't hurt to leave these plugged in, but I usually unplug them just because of my classroom setup. So I'm going to turn my power switch off. I'm going to unplug. And again, the Ethernet cord. Again, it does not hurt to leave this plugged in. So if you have a classroom setup that allows you to leave it plugged in, go ahead. But I'm going to unplug and take care of this. And they get wound up there. The power cord and the Ethernet cord. And the final steps are to bring the codec back down. You have to lift it and it slides on the tracks. So you want to make sure it goes down evenly and the cords don't get caught. I usually replace the remote back to the remote holder so that I don't lose it. Check and make sure my lens cap is on so it doesn't get caught. And go get my covering. And again, this is also on tracks, so slide it down carefully to make sure that I can replace it. And check my cords, make sure they're all wound up, which they're not at the moment, but if I were actually putting it away, I would check that. And that's how you shut the Tandberg down and take care of it.